All right, we are back, YouTube. I was off for about 2.5 weeks almost, both from my work and from making YouTube content. But we traded almost every day. Not every day, but the days that gave us opportunity. Copy traded 5 accounts, made about roughly around 3,000. A small payout of 800 and a little bit a bigger payout of 3,000. So I got this account at the beginning of the May, traded them, traded them very slowly. Took my time, took about 4 days to pass them, took another 6, 7 days to get a payout on these. That's the payout. That's the transaction. Took the lucid about 4 minutes to get the payout, but still pretty quick payout, and that was the payout in the account. And I usually post all of these progress in the community. If you want to join in the community down below, you can go ahead and join it. People leave their trades, their testimonies, and their questions and whatsoever. So today I'm gonna cover the trades that I took and a little bit of psychology of the videos that of everything that I missed out on making. So let's first of all let's go to trading. So I'm cover the past week trade. So this was the Monday's trade and all-time highs. I'm only looking for buys, and we're close to all-time highs. You only should be looking to buy. You shouldn't be looking for any sales. So on Monday, I usually Mondays I either don't trade if I do trade, I size down significantly both Mondays and Fridays, because Mondays there's usually no good news or bad news. Same goes with Fridays. It's either some sort of option expiry or some sort of no news or some sort of negative news that comes out that gets the market choppy. So most of my big trades are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So Monday trade last week was pretty simple. We came to the new wake gap opening. We swept all the lows from the session. Once we closed above it, I got a inverse rally gap. This was my POI burst based on the previous day. It was based on the it was something like this if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it was like a previous day high. I don't count anything after we kind of close on Friday, but I had a bullish bias regardless. Even with all the choppiness, I sized down significantly. I think I only sized down like half the size that I usually trade. Got in trading here, got out of on that one. That was the Monday trade. Oh, that's another thing, by the way, that I changed in the past couple of weeks. I don't trade as much as I used to. I used to take like 2, 3 trades, sometimes 4 trades a day. Nowadays, I only take maybe 1 trade, and sometimes I don't even take a trade if I don't like the price action that I see. So that made a huge difference. I've been getting more payouts, more consistent payout. So on Tuesday, we had a CPI bad news that we just straight up crashing down. Didn't get any sort of opportunity, any good amount of pullbacks during the morning time until around noon. In the noon, we got a good amount of pullback in here based on this previous day POI right here in this line. I'm just gonna make it right here. So based on this line, we close below it, close above it, and we'll see once we start clearing close below it. Got in here, and I believe I got about 300, about like 100 point out of this one, something like this. Got out of that one. In the afternoon, took another trade with half the size. Got that one. That got us slightly above the buffer. And on Wednesday, I believe on Wednesday, the first trade that we took it around here, right before the market opened, because we were going down. And we had negative news from the PPI. And I was targeting this Asian low. The problem with this trade was ES already took this low, but the NQ didn't. So we, for those ICD traders, it's called SMT, So when there's a divergence, usually get chopped. So you want to always go with the one that's leading. So in this case, ES was leading this trade, but I didn't take it on ES. That's another change I made in the past 2.5 weeks. So I've been taking trades on the index that's leading. Let's say we are bullish and NQ is leading. I'll take the trade on NQ. Uh, if you're bullish on ES, which Friday was the case, we were a little bit slightly more bullish on ES than we were on NQ. So I took the trade on a ES on a live account. I'm going to put a pause on the 1 to 10k challenge for now. I'm just gonna focus on prop trading. That seems to be the main objective of everybody on the YouTube. That's what they want to see. They want to see prop trading. And the second trade that we took on Wednesday, once we closed above this level, we didn't take out this low, but on ES we did. We created this divergence. I took this trade from here to here, and of course I sized down because it was a little bit choppy, and that trade won. So yeah, that trade, and then a Thursday trade. This was a Thursday trade. This was based on this previous day high, which right here we took out, closed above it. Once we came back below it, on the 1 minute we got an inversion, closed above this POI, which was based on previous day high, and I took it up to this high, a little bit slightly above this, somewhere around this. I closed the trade. That was a good trade. And as you can see, I've been trading less, and I've been trading more based on higher time frame, like daily, 1 hour, instead of just 15 minute levels. So this was the trade that I took on Friday after the payout. Once the payout was secured, I took this trade with only 2 micros. Of course, this one lost, and that was my target. Of course, super choppy. I believe it was a day for option expiry sale, which I kind of knew it was gonna be choppy. That's why I sized down significantly to only 2 micro contract. This one didn't work out. I wasn't expecting it to work out anyway, but it seemed good, and it was sort of leading, but I knew this was going to be a very low probability trade because we have equal high in here. So when you have kind of sort of like a stack equal high, usually price likes to go take those equal high. And as you can see, if I would have waited for this daily indication, which you can see right here, and I would have taken this trade, I would have been a better trade from here to here. But it's hindsight trading. I don't do that. Once I took that loss, I was just kind of done for the day. So I didn't even look for more trades. Plus, I was still on sort of a vacation, so I couldn't look for anything. And today, once the market opened, we of course flushed down. We came back up on the 1 minute. I missed out on this trade. This is a clean trade from the open. Closed below it, went back above it. This one I missed out on this one. It would have been a great trade. So I didn't take out this trade. And market gave us another opportunity. I got here. My target was here. Once we closed above this line, I put my stop loss at break even. And of course, as you can see, we got out at break even. Price got chopped up, eventually got there, but I'm glad we got out of it because we got chopped up. So that was a break even over there. And as far as the community goes, the link is down below in description. Let me know your question, and if you have any sort of psychology question, you can come here and take a look at it. Let's see, I was gonna mention a sort of a psychology subject that I was gonna go lock in and cut the noise. Yeah, so this was the one. This is a very like a clear pattern for most stuff traders. So I was like lock in, cut noise. You don't need to take too many trades. You don't need to take trade every day because I didn't take trade for like a day or two on these accounts. Past these accounts with like 100% win rate with only 3 days of trading. So I took a trade on this day 695, took another one at 901, took another one at 1411 with only one trades on each day. Passed this account on 3 days, and I got the payouts the next week on these accounts. So the main takeaway on these is pretty much once you take a payout, you don't want to trade them like you don't want to you don't want to treat them like they are disposable. So that's what most people do, most traders. Once they get a payout, they treat these accounts like they're disposable, and they blow them out, and they go on another account. It's kind of like a cycle. Or people pass these accounts, they get funded, and then they change their strategy. They either trade them extremely aggressively, or they either trade them extremely scared, which both side leads to blown accounts. So this was a very familiar cycle. I'm sure if I if you can read it, I'll read it for you. You'll resonate with it. So this is a familiar cycle for most of you, as I'm about to explain below. So I would win a trade for a week or two straight. I would get one payout, maybe two. Then overconfident or revenge trading would take over until I blew the funded accounts. Then I would get an evaluation account and I would trade them as scared. So I would size down until I would regain confidence. But since sizing down would make the trades extremely unsatisfying, so it would lead to overtrading because I would try to make the same amount. But of course, I would lose those trades because I would trade them as scared. And what I would do, I would snap out of that thinking, out of that cycle, and I would go back to the proper size of how I would use to trade them to pass the accounts with with the old approach. Then, as you can guess by now, the cycle would repeat itself, and you will notice that until you journal every aspect of your trading. So I start journaling differently. So three things that I usually journal nowadays: win or lose, or even break even. How did I feel before, during, and after the trades? Did I get into a high or low probability trade? And how was I thinking before, during, and after the trade? Because you can self sabotage. You can get into a perfect trade, move your stop loss, or take profit early or exit early. All kind of self sabotage going on because mostly it's you versus you when it comes to the charts. And as you can see, some of these trades that I took on the past weeks, I think I took one break even, one loss, three win. I didn't overtrade it, none of that like that. Before, if I would have taken a loss or if I would have taken a break even, I would just kept getting into the market, kept getting into the market. For example, today I took this short right here, from here to here. The price went all the way very close to my take profit. In fairness, I should have probably closed it, but I wanted to stay true to my plan. You always want to follow the plan and stick to the plan. Break even, I saw the choppiness, I didn't touch it. If I had, the second trade would have been hit. And I saw it too, but I choose to not to take it because due to choppiness. That's it. The lesson of the day pretty much is stick to your plan and execute the plan. And as you can see, I still have this, which is the stochastic indicator. You can use it; it's free. You can use it in here. You can also use it on Tradesy. You can just add a stochastic to your account, and it's pretty simple. Once you get to the POI, it just adds a extra confluence to my trade. Once I get a V-shaped recovery or two consecutive candle like this, and it closes within the stochastic, I just get in here, or I get in somewhere in between. Another thing I've been and I target the low like that. I do something like that. Another thing I've been implementing, if the candle close of your initial entry, whether you're shorting or buying, If it's significantly lower, I usually target the halfway point. And what I mean by that is what I mean. So I usually measure from top to the bottom, and I set a limit order halfway through like that. And I put my stop loss slightly above that level. That's if you want to get a little bit of higher RR. So I would take something like this. So that would be like a 2.5 versus a. Let me take another one, show you the difference. Versus a 1-to-1. Kind of like that. It's just huge difference, especially if you trade NQ, because NQ moves crazy. That's it. A little bit of nugget for you guys. And down below in the comment section, let me know which one is to see. And if you want to apply for a one-on-one mentorship with me, I have a few spots open next week. Just the link is down below for all my socials, the community, and the mentorship. See you guys in the next one. Love you guys.